It appears as though we have some sort of unknown outbreak that has now touched within the United States of America. We have reports coming in of quarantines at hospitals with individuals traveling from places like Tanzania. The people in the Congo that have come down with an illness that is taking the lives of children are suffering from a very strange combination of respiratory infections combined with a high fever and anemia. This is really weird because we do have virologists here in the United States of America and at universities abroad saying that they are seeing more of this through the healthcare setting than is being led on to. I don't know if it's going to be something big, but just remember that all the chemical pharmaceutical agencies and all of the doctors that they have on their payroll recently said we will have a pandemic by 2025. We also have new information coming in about what's happening in the United States of America, and we see a pitchforks and torches reaction to the taking out of that CEO of the insurance company. The American people are finally at their point where they have said no more. This is giving grounds to warnings from the FBI and other agencies that we have a revolution on our hands. A panel of judges in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously ruled that the federal government does have the authority to deport any foreign national that is in the United States of America.
So my dad stopped paying for car insurance. Wait till you see his clever new move.
Apparently legally, even when local state.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the whole elect. It wasn't this gospel, bro. I lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just another lesson through the Spirit. Salakia. But it says mystery deadly disease X spreads in Congo as WHO struggles to trace origin. Here they go with a pre-pandemic bullshit again, man. But we understand that through the dealings of this devil, we understand that I remember when the Salakia, but the W to the H to the O. I remember that guy Cotton Swab mentioned that by 2025 there would be, well, he didn't directly mention it, but it was mentioned that by 2025 the world was going to enter another global pan, which pan means the entire world. As we dealt with the ordeal back in 2020, that has pretty much changed the way that the world moved, man, from shutting down private-owned businesses to putting people in bankruptcy, all right, and to people literally having to downsize homes and to come amongst each other to make a living, to the minute price of eggs being $5-6, man. It's been a pretty rough ride, but now they're talking about another deadly disease, X, which, X in Roman numerals goes into 10. But this whole X right here is just a generic term as to they can label it whatever the fuck they want to label it. Okay, and we understand through the Spirit that Esau Edom is conjuring up some madness in a biolab somewhere because going back into the war back in 2022 when America, well, not America, but when Russia invaded Syria, it came out in reports that there was biolabs that was funded by the West that they found out there in Ukraine. Okay, and this is one reason for the war, because we understand that America and the Western allied nations, they engage in what they call bio warfare, man. Okay, which bio goes into like diseases and particular things that are created in a laboratory, man. All right. So this devil, man, he's got to be stopped. Okay, because matter of fact, let's look this up real quick. What does bio warfare means? Biological germ. Yep. And the biological toxins of infections, agents such as bacteria, viruses, insects, fungi tend to kill blase, which we know America, they or Esau, he weaponizes diseases This is why you have what they call the DCC, okay, or the C to the plus to the D to the plus to the C, which stands for Centers of DISEASE creation. Okay, they say control, but in fact, they create these particular illnesses, man, and then they spread them among people. This is why you have a overly influx of Heliobacter infections, which is basically a type of feces that contaminates water or food. Lately, you've been having a lot of so-called cyber attacks on America's water systems, and a lot of people have becoming sick. Okay, even going back into full spectrum survival, go back to the first minute of his video, he was claiming that there have been illnesses and breakouts and quarantines in hospitals, man. Okay, so to say the least, they're getting ready to release something, all right? And we always mention that big event or that big turn of event is what's going to get them to set things on record when it comes to introducing the MOTB. Okay, something that can cause some type of global catastrophe, whether it be an economic collapse, which, you know, for certain the economic collapse will set or spark the trend of the MOTB being instituted. But I believe it's going to be more than one event. You know, it's going to be pestilence, famines, and an economic collapse, which is going to shake the people up, which is going to make them opt into this digital technocracy, which, you know, a technocracy goes into a rule based in AI, okay, technology, with the MOTB being the helm of this man's of his weaponry. Okay, so anyway, going to the article, it mentions, it says here, slacking, man, been a long day, brother. Golly, but it says the World Health Organ, well, the W, you know what, has recorded more than 400 cases of a mysterious, deadly, FLU-like illness dubbed disease to the X in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and is struggling to uncover its origins. And we noticed that it's either China or parts of Africa that they use these people as test subjects, man. Okay, because Esau look at you people as a bunch of guinea pigs. Like among Moab, he'll go and test some shit on Moab. He's like, oh, it's like 10 billion of you niggas over there. It ain't nothing to wipe out 4 billion of you, you know, collateral damage, because that's the type of devil that you're dealing with. But it reads, says the unidentified pestilence has infected an estimated 406 people in the DCR since October 7 and killed 143 of them, mostly children, according to local authorities, man. All right. So that's the big emotional response when you bring up the word child or children, and children are being affected. That creates the emotional response behind people, because we know that this world is hung up for women and children. Okay, the weakest of the weakest link of the human race being a woman and a child. People are overly sensitive to when things happen to women and children. Okay, but see, they don't understand that Yahweh Bashim Hawashai, he does not discriminate against woman, man, or child. Okay, if you ain't right with the Heavenly Father, he don't give a damn who you is. He'll smoke you. Okay, and a lot of these kids ain't right, man. And we're going to see a lot of children get judged in the times we coming into, because this is just the time of the Lord's judgment, according to Ezekiel 9:4. But it says that you know who has dispatched rapid response teams, of course, right? It's always these people. And these are the last people who you want to be in your country when shit happens like this. Because what people have to understand is that America has given over the sovereignty of the United States to these NGOs, these non-governmental organizations, or these non-governmental corporations, man, NGOs, which unelected officials have been able to delegate authority over your lives, prompting you and forcing you to put things inside you that don't belong there. Okay, like Dr. Anthony Fauci, okay, which has been proven a known liar. And he's not the only one. You got Bill Gates and all these other moguls out there that's giving all this health advice on what to do with yourselves, but yet they themselves don't take their own advice because they know they ain't nothing but a bunch of liars, right? But it says who has dispatched a rapid response team to unravel the mysterious pestilence X. But officials have said Sunday that the center of the outbreak is in a remote area of the Kwango province, where poor road conditions and heavy rain means it would take at least 2 days to get there. And that's probably all bullshit, because the reality of it is they're testing it on people. They're just an excuse to not go out there and do what they have to do. But Esau know what's up. But it says the investigation is also being hampered by the fact that all or most serious cases of the pestilence X involve the patient suffering from severe malnutrition, to making it harder to trace the you-know-what exact source. It reads, these challenges, coupled with limited diagnostics in the region, have delayed the identification of the underlying you-know-what, the you-know-who said. And this is another narrative that they can use to spread this propaganda about the Western Hemisphere, and people will fall into it because, like I said, if you show 2 or 3 people very ill from these particular pestilence, it'll get the attention of people real quick, man. Because see, when the 2020 ordeal hit, a lot of people written it off, and you know they was like, yeah, that's fake, it ain't real. And in many cases, it was a fear tactic, you know. It was to generate fear, and it was a hoax. But after a while, when people wasn't people wasn't complying with Esau's orders, that's when he started to release shit, man. Okay, he started putting shit in food, water, the air. Okay, he was putting shit in the VAX, and before you know it, everybody and their mother got sick. Like I remember that one year at the end of 2021, everybody and their mother came down with some shit. And honestly speaking, a lot of people ain't been right ever since then. Okay, a lot of people have been totally messed up because they was being how can I say it? They was being fermented from every side with this madness, man. Okay, the whole preventative measures, the whole 6+6+6, all that other, it was just all a shit show, man. And people was literally bugging out over this shit. I'm talking about family ties been permanently severed because of the folly that Esau has put out there, which we say is the quiet before the storm. But it reads, it says teams are collecting samples for laboratory testing, which he's created it in the lab. Okay. And you got to be a fool to believe that he didn't do so and that this shit just emerged out of thin air. Like, nah, bro. Okay. But it says teams are collecting samples for testing, providing a more detailed clinical characterization of the detected cases, investigating the transmission dynamics, and actively searching for additional cases, both within health facilities and at the end of the community level, the organization said. But it reads, initial findings suggest that the deaths might be related to the plethora of other illnesses or pestilence spreading in the Southwest DRC, including acute, and you know what, and and a lot of which is coming in the region. Okay. And believe it or not, all this shit right here, this was created. Okay. This was created. All this shit was created here. Okay. Because see, what happens is Yahweh Shai has given the devil the power over the sword. So he's able to mutate things. And you have what they call GOF, which stands for function of gain. And I say it that way, but say it backwards and you got gain of you know what. Okay. Which this guy, Dr. F, has been severely criticized over because that makes shit transmissible to things that it's not supposed to be involved in. All right. Like, let's say if a dog catches a certain pestilence that is not prone to affect humans, they've created it to the fact that what happens to the dog can jump on a fucking human, man. And wonder why everybody is all jacked up, you know, from the stuff they're putting in them. It's just it's a mess, man. But it says it's also possible that more than one you know what is causing deaths. And these are the last people here to really take advice from, because these people are tyrants. Okay, they want to for the NWO, and they all about this global technocracy, man, and putting things inside people. So this is who has the rights over the people, over your health, man. These people. And when they start to enforce things, hey, they're gonna use the military to do so, man. Okay, look at the show The Last of Us. Look at The Walking Dead. But it says all recorded cases of this such and such involve patients suffering fever, headaches, cough, runny nose, body aches, breathing difficulties, anemia, and the nation's Ministry of Health. But while the you-know-who said it has only found evidence of 31 deaths caused by the pestilence X, most of which involve children under 5 years old, it acknowledged that the death toll may be higher, as local officials estimate 143 deaths, all right? And that's another thing, too. When they start to push this narrative here in the West and they start to target children, that's when shit gonna turn up, because, you know, people, they're very sensitive on kids here. All right, because people are they're driven by their emotions, to say the least. So this is the book of Ezekiel 5, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses. Woo-wee. There's some heat right here. Let's start at verses 8. It says, "Therefore, thus says the Lord Yahweh, behold, I, even I, am against thee, and will execute judgments in the midst of thee in the sight of the nations. And I will do in thee that which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of all their abominations. Therefore, the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and their sons shall eat the fathers, and I will execute judgment in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into all the winds." Now, this has happened already, because remember, Jake was dispersed into the four winds of the earth. Okay, because you had the Babylonian captivity, the Assyrian captivity. All right, and you had the rise of the Persians and the Medes, then the Greeks, then the Romans, and then 2,000 years later, the Romans again, which is the common Edomites, man, the Edomite, this Roman Empire. Okay, it says here, therefore the father should eat the son. That's cannibalism right there. And we understand in a time of famine, when there's no food to be given out or rationed out, people are going to resort to cannibalism. Okay, that's a plague. And it says here, wherefore, as I live, says Yahweh, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary, and with all thy detestable things, and with all thy abominations, therefore I will diminish thee, neither should my eyes spare, neither should I have pity, and a third part of thee should die with the pestilence. All right, and when you go into pestilence, that goes into these plagues, man. Okay, and there will be more plagues that hit the earth. Like they mentioned, by 2025, there's possibility that we can see a repeat of 2020, but on a far different scale. All right, so keep that down the pipe, brothers. They already quarantining certain hospitals because of this particular pestilence. But, I believe all this shit gonna happen at once. Famine, pestilence, okay, the economic collapse, civil war. I believe these are all gonna complement one another. Because they just say if you have another, epidemic, people kind of figure it out and then they'll get back on track. But when you got the pestilence, the global pestilence, you got the famines, the riots, the economic collapse, people ain't gonna be able to get a foothold on that, man. All right, and people are gonna literally bug the hell out because they're not gonna have the necessary means to catch their footing, because it's gonna attack them from all sides. And this is why the Lord said you should remain in these plagues. You see? But it says, "And a third part of thee shall die with the pestilence and with famine, and they shall be consumed in the midst of thee. And a third part shall fall by the sword round about thee. And I will scatter the third part into all the winds, and I will draw out the sword after them," which goes into the 2/3, man. All right. And it says, "And thus shall my anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, have spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them." All right. So, yes, man, we're coming into the time of great judgments, man. Because Yahweh Shai is not playing games anymore. He never was playing games. But the Most High is at the point now that he's tired of fucking holding back on you people. All right. And you people, honestly speaking, this place needs to see judgment. All right. Because, hey, let's say at the beginning of the year, they can announce a global what. Because what I speculate is that they can make another attempt on DJ, and they can possibly try to keep him out of office by some type of emergency declaration orders, or they can literally have him to inherit a whole world of hurt. Okay, because let's just say that some shit go down and he gets inaugurated, and then all of a sudden he just inherited a whole ton of debt. He inherited a whole world war and a pestilence. All right, and he ain't gonna be able to fix shit, because believe it or not, he has the best interest of the elite bankers, and the elite bankers, they want chaos. They want war. They want pestilence. They want famine. Okay, because they're building a new world. All right. But it says here, "And thou son of," matter of fact, Ezekiel 7. And let's go to let's go to verses 14. It says, "They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon the multitude thereof. And the sword is without, and the pestilence and famine within. And he that is in," it says, "he that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him." All right, because like I said, they're gonna have quarantine camps set up. Okay, whether it be FEMA camps or just regular basic quarantine camps. Okay, they're gonna have rations out here. They're gonna have troops, police in the streets, and it's to the point that if you get caught outside of curfew, then you know that's your ass. And if you test positive for, like they showed you that in what's the movie with Will Smith, I Am Legend, when they scanned, I believe it was his wife, but it was a false positive, and he said scan her again. But see, when it came up positive that she was, infected with something, though it was false, they was finna haul our ass out to a concentration camp, man. If it wasn't for Will, so you can expect that type of setup, man. All right, and we coming into those days very, very soon, when all this shit around us ain't gonna matter no more. But anyway, and it reads, where am I at? It says, the sword without, and the pestilence and famine within, and he that is in the field should die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. But they that escape of them should escape and should be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all of them mourning everyone from their iniquities, and all hands should be as feeble, and all knees should be as weak as waters, man, all right? So these cities are getting ready to be casted down, all right? Any day now, like we said, 2025, hey, who knows? But, they were speculating back in 22 and 23 that we can see another global you-know-what in the year 2025. So we just have to wait and see. But Lord's will, that's the case. All right. Last precept, and I end it. This is the book of 2nd Edges 15, and I'm going to start at verses. Where the hell am I at? Here we go. 15 and 49. And it reads, it says, and I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. All right. So that's it. I mean, there's nothing more to be said. All hell is getting ready to break loose. Expect pestilence, famines, because they keep playing with people. They're mentioning the chicken or the bird FLU shit, and then they'll pull back on it, and then all of a sudden 46 monkeys escape. I forgot what state that was, but allegedly 46 monkeys got lost in the fucking woods somewhere, and you never heard of that again. So they're conjuring up all this plethora of wickedness to throw at you people at once, and you ain't gonna know what hit you, man. All right? Revelation 6 and 7. And when he had opened the fourth seal, and I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, which pale represents death. It says, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And that's Esau, man. And the power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, okay, to kill with the sword and with hunger and with death and with the beasts of the earth, okay, which that's over here in the Americas, man, okay. But when you think of the fourth part, like Apostle Tar went into the fourth part of Canaan, and he broke down a whole meaning of Canada. But technically, America is the land of Canaan, okay, that land of unknown, a land where mankind never dwelleth until God got over here, all right. But also, when you think of the fourth part of the earth, you think about Esau's rulership, because not only does Esau has America, if you go into the concept of NATO and the EU, those European or so-called European nations, which the Europeans are actually so-called people of color, Japhetic peoples, but Esau took over the modern day Roman Empire, man, which consists of America, okay, Canada, Great Britain, Italy. All those are still a conjoined to this modern Roman system, So I'm going to end it here, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify. To the next lesson. Shalom.